Teacher Chimbo once again with a video or with another video concerning queries in Microsoft Office Access. And now I'm going to talk about select queries, but let me mention a few types of queries that we have in existence. Now we have queries, and under queries we have the select queries, we have update queries, and we have articulated queries. Now all these types of queries are queries that we can deal with when we are talking about databases. In databases, remember, database is a collection of logically related data. We are talking of storing data or records. In most of the times in our new curriculum, we find ourselves having or being told to create an electronic store of records. Access can be one of the appropriate applications that we can use. Today I may not talk about updated queries or update queries, but I'm going to talk about select queries mostly, and I may have a hint about the calculated queries. Now, select queries. Select queries, they are also broken down into a number of them. That is to say, we have the text queries, text. Then we have number queries, and we also have the date queries. Now, amongst all of those, the text queries are the easiest kind of queries. The text queries, they are very, very easy to actually deal with. And if I've not forgotten, I think one of the easiest text queries that we can have is the query to display records, to display records from a database having names beginning or ending with a certain character. Iggy, they can tell you, design for us a query filtering out only those employees whose first name begins with letter A, ends with letter E, contains E. They begin with any character in the range A, E, and so many others. So such are text queries. The number queries. Number queries, they are queries. There are also other simple queries, and these ones can display numerical records. They return records. They normally deal with comparison operations. Such as they deal with comparison operations. They deal with comparison operations such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and so many others. So if they say return less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, employees who earn a salary above 300,000. That one is a number query. People with loans. At least maybe 400. This one means 400 and above, greater than or equal to 400, and so many other examples. And lastly, the date queries. Queries that return date values, e.g. age, difference, talk of transactions that took place in between certain dates. Create a query returning you can say create a query to return those people who took loans between May and August of 2023. And so many others. You have very many data queries, but we're going to talk about a few of the examples in the text queries. We even have a query about length of characters. We can say create for us a query that returns only those people whose name is at least 7 characters. At least 7 characters. This one will be like you'll say len. There is a function in Access called len. Then you open brackets, then open square bracket, you put name. Now, if it is a field in our table, when you're referring to it, you put a square bracket. Then when you say at least, you're saying 7 and above 7. Then you run this query. Now let's go straight into Access and see how we can create some of these queries that we've talked about. Like I said, I'm concentrating more on the select queries. Alright, let me minimize Word, then I open Access and I go straight into creating queries. When it opens, I choose a blank database. I'm going to give it a name, queries. Then I'll save it. I'm going to save it. Where can I save it? I'm going to save it. Save it not on the desktop. I'm going to save it on new volume D. Then I'm going to create a folder on D called queries. Queries database. I'm going to call it queries. So I tap enter, then I tap open. I save my database there. It brings me back to this window. Then I tap on create. So my new database is created, and I'm going to have some queries to create. Now I already have a file that I want to use in this for creating the queries, but it is in Excel. So what I have is to import it and bring it into database, and thereafter I will create the queries. So to import or to get external data from elsewhere into Access, you would have to tap on external data. When you tap on external data right here, you definitely see that you have saved imports, linked table manager, new data sources, and then exporting means I'm taking data away from Excel, from Access to some other files. So I'll tap on new data source just there. Tap there, and if from new data source I can see I can get it from a file, from a database, from an online service, from other sources like ODBC or Outlook folder, SharePoint, data, and so many others. So I want to get it from a file. I tap on file right there, then I tap on Excel because it is an Excel file that I want to get my data from. So I tap on Excel. When I tap on Excel, it has to open for me a wizard, which wizard will help me locate the file that I want to import into Excel. So I tap on the browse button here to browse my file that I want to bring into Excel. Now my file is on the desktop, so right here I will look for desktop. You're seeing desktop is there. I tap on it. When I tap on it, it lists me all the files and folders on the desktop, and on the desktop there is a file called book 1. That's where my records are. I select it and I tap on open. When I tap on open, it opens and puts for me the file path, that file. So I just tap on OK here for Access, and I leave everything constant as it is for Access to open for me this file. So this is my file that has been opened. It is telling me here that first row contains column heading. I have no problem with that. I just tap on next to continue. Now here I have to specify different data, different like columns with their data types, but I may not do it here as I'm importing, but I want to do it. Actually I will do it when I've finished importing. So I leave everything constant in this wizard of ours. I just tap next until when I complete, and then when I'm there I'll decide on what I will be doing. Here it is asking me for the primary key. I will choose no, and then I'll continue. Then I'm going to call it I'm going to call my table. I'm going to call my table, how can I call it? Let me call it circle. I'm going to call it circle data. Then I'll tap on finish. I'm tapping on the finish tab there. Then when I tap on finish, I close. When I close, you can see I have my table here called circle, and when I double click, it has my records that I had in my Excel file. You can clearly see that it has a number of records there. But there is a record I don't want to display. I didn't check the file. There is a record I don't want. This one I may delete it, the total. Yes, I've deleted the total because I didn't want it. So now here is our table, well created, having a number of fields and a number of records. It has date, account number, name, date taken, loan, repayment, interest, and total payment. These fields, I will not do much about them. Just let me adjust to see that I can see everything properly, and that is it. Now I'm going to open my table in design view to specify specific data types, because when you look at this is text, this is text, everything is almost text apart from these ones which are numbers. So I have to go into design view and give them appropriate data type. So I'll tap on the home tab, then view, design view. When it takes me to design view, I'm going to select, like I'm starting with date. Then when I tap into date data type, you can see that there is an arrow here, like a drop down. I can select that, I can tap on the drop down. You can see tapping on the drop down and have a list of all other data types. I will choose date and time. Date stroke time. I may not specify the date that I want. Then account number. Account number, I have to give it auto number. Yes, but when I give it auto number, when there is already text, it is going to complain. What do? I first of all leave it. Then name, I'll give it short text. As you can see, date taken, this is date stroke time, loan, this is number. Now these ones, the rest of these, I'm going to leave them with number data type. I'm going to leave them with number data type. I'm going to leave them with number data type. I'm going to leave them with number data type, but I'll actually alter the format such that they can have a shillings symbol and maybe a comma separator after, and a comma separator after they'll have a comma separator after 3 digits. Now when I tap on number, I'll come here where there is format and there is general number. I remove the general number. I want to put UBX. So what I do is I open quotes and put UBX, close quotes, space, hash, comma, and I put 3 other hashes. That is the format that is supposed to be put on all the number format that are particularly monetary values. So open quotes, UBX, close quotes, space, hash, comma, hash, hash, hash. Then I go to interest. It is also a monetary field. I remove general number, open quotes, UBX, close quotes, space, hash, comma, hash, hash, hash. Then I go to number, to total payment. I tap there. Open quotes, UBX, close quotes, space, hash, comma, hash, hash, hash. Lastly, savings. Now this one already has this, so what I will do in front of it, I will put UBX, close quotes, and just put a space like that. So I guess that is what I want for my table. Everything is set properly. the data types are set. Now remember we had the account number and it refused, so I'm going to create it once again here. I'm going to create account number like that. After this one here, I'll give it auto number straight away, auto number, and then under format I'll give it a format. Remember our auto number or our account number had a format. That format is the one that I'm going to give here. So I open quotes and put the values that are repeating, MT, they are capital letters, MTES, like that. If at all you don't remember, you can actually go to the file where you got the data from and you cross check. For example, I got my data from Excel. I can open my Excel file and cross check to be sure of the format that I have to put. MTES, then 032, 041, 027, but I guess the arrangement is increasing uniformly, though there it is not sorted. When I can actually sort and check whether it is uniformly increasing, but you can see it is MTES, those are uniform, and the others are the ones that are changing. MTES, I guess it is what I've written, MTES. So that is common, and then outside I'm going to put 30000 to represent the values that are going to be changing and increasing uniformly. Now after creating this, I'll go back up there where I have my auto number just next to date. I select it, and when I select it, I right click and choose delete rows because I don't want it. Yes, it asks me, do you want to permanently delete selected fields? I say yes. After deleting it, I can now move this one here and put it anywhere that I want. So I want to press it where the other one was, so I put it there. After that, I have my table set, everything is okay. So I'll close, and it asks me, do you want to save? I tap on yes because I want to save it. Then my table is now saved. When I double click to open the table, you can see there is the difference between the way it was displaying data, or the way it had my data, and the way it has it now. Now when you see the ashes, it just means the space is not enough. Double click on the borders to adjust automatically. So this is what we have so far, and I guess it looks great right now. It looks great. Is a date. You realize that these dates were this other side when I imported the table, but after giving it a format, it is coming this side. Yes, and even when you look at this, it is also forming, or it is being put into shape. Right, now I'm going to first of all create a query that displays everything. So let me close this table first. To create queries, you tap on the create tab. After tapping on the create tab, I will use the design view of the query. You can actually use a wizard or the design view, but I'm going to use the design. You tap on the query design, and when you tap on query design, it takes you into the design view of the query. So when it takes you to the design view of the query, it has a table here which has field, table, sort, show, criteria, or. Field contains all the field names that will be in our table. Table, the table names. Why? Because you may have different fields from different tables. You will see it here. You'll be in position to see that this field is coming from such and such a table in relational databases. Sort when you want to arrange and show the fields that you want to appear. When you run the query, it will be displayed with a tick in the checkbox. The criteria, that's where you put the condition that you hope your query run. Here I have only one table, and that's why you're seeing only one table here. You can either drag and drop it here or tap on the add selected table here, and then a table is added. I can actually close this because I don't want it. Now I adjust my table, be in position to see all the fields that I have there. So those are the fields that I have. So I want everything. I just double click here where it is circle data. When I double click, I select everything, then I drag and drop them in my table. After dragging and dropping them, I'm done with the first query. Now this query, if I told it was the command line, I would say select all from circle data, and it will display this. So I'll tap on the run button. This is the button that we use for running the queries. So I tap on it and my query, boom, it's running. So after that, I right click and save my query. I'm going to save it as all because it has everything. That is query 1. I close it. After closing, I'm going to create another query. This time around, I'm going to create a query that displays people beginning with letter A. So I tap on create, query design as usual, add my table, close this, double click here, then I drag my records. Not really. What is not happening? Yes, I drag and drop. So under name in criteria, that's where I write A, then I put the asterisk like that, just A and the asterisk. The asterisk is a wildcard character that means any number of text. So it means I know that they begin with letter A, but I don't mind about the rest of other characters. So that's why I put A and the asterisk or the star. So after that, I run my query. When I run my query, yes, you can see that I have A. So I'm going to save this query as A. Yes, I'll save it as A and click OK. Okay, now we're going to create. Right, we're going to create another query to return those people whose names contain letter E. So we want to see how we create a query for people's name that contain letter E. So contain, we're going to put an asterisk, then E, then another asterisk, then we run that query, and it only brings for us those people whose name contain letter E. It's a very big record. Then we're going to save it as contain. Contain E. And we close it. Let me create one more query. Close. I'm going to create another query for people whose names begin from a given range. So I say A to E, close, and then I put the asterisk. So this one returns anything or any name which has a letter in between A and E, but it is the beginning of its name. A, B, C, D, E. So any name that begins in that range will be like displayed. Okay, sometimes this expression you have to put the word like and you enclose it in quotes. Enclose it in quotes. Then you run. When you run, it brings those people. So let us save it as between. Let's save it as A. Let's even put that A to E, like that. Begin. Okay, let me remove the brackets that I put. It is not accepting. Yes, it is now. It has taken my name. So I close it. Now, those are text queries. If it is end with, you write the letter, and this is begin with A. If you want to end with, you write, let me create end with. Create a query. Here we need tables, circle data, add, close, double click here, take this to the table, name, let me say end with, and I start with an asterisk. And what can I say? End with the O. Let me say letter O. I run the query, and it returns me, because I right click and choose save. I say and with O. I tap OK. Then I close this. Let me also rename this to be like identifying what it is. I'll call it begin with space A. Let me put capital letter. Yes. All begin with A, begin with. Now we can actually look at this. Begin with A to E, contain E, and end with O. Now I'm going to create another query, maybe for date. So let me first create number queries, and after I'll go to date queries. So I tap on create query. I want a table or tables. Add. It doesn't add it. Add it. Close. Double click here. Drag these and drop them onto my table. Now, for numbers, I'm going to put something in the loan. I want only those people who have a loan. And if at all someone has a loan, it means in the loan field there is something that is greater than a 0. So I will say greater than 0. Anything that is greater than 0, it means that person has a loan. I'll run my query, and it displays for me only those people who have loans. So I can save this query as loan. So here you need to know this expression that will help you create these queries. So now I'll create another query to display. Now I'm going to look at the savings, kind of the savings, 32M, 86C, 900,000, 2M, 56, 10, 75. Now I'm going to create a query that display only those people whose savings is 20M and below. Yes, that's what I'm going to create. So I tap on create, query design, I select the table add, and I close. When I close here, I double click, then I drag down like this, and then I will go where I have savings down here, and I say I want only those records whose savings is less than or equal to 20M. And I run my query. Only that 20M less than or equal to 20M. It will bring me those ones that are 20M and below. Yes, and you can see 12, 2, 900,000, 10M, then 15. So I save it as 20, let's say 20M and below. So this is the query that I've created. I tap on OK. Now those ones you can create anything, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal, and so many others. Now let me create a date query, and then we hold it there at top, and then query design, add, and close. Now I want to create, tap here and I drag it down. I want to create a query that returns to me only those transactions that took place between May and August. So I will come to date here and I'll write those exact words. Now when you're writing an expression for between, you actually write those words. So you say between, now you put hash, then you put the first date. The way in the format it is 5. Now if it is May, it is supposed to be 1st of May. So 5 is for May, 1 is for 1st, 2023. Then you put hash, then you put and, then you hash again. Now August is 8, like 8 slash. Now you put the last date of August, that is 31st slash 2023. Then you put hash again. After that, you run your query. Boom. Now you have your query displaying only May to August transactions. So you right click and tap on save. You save it as May to August, and you tap on OK. That is a date query. Now if at all it was date of birth and so many others, you could actually know, or you could actually calculate and tell how old are the loans. For example, you can decide to know the duration or the period the loan has spent from the time it was taken up to now. Because you can look at the date taken and the current date, then you can calculate the number of years that it has taken from that time up to now, for example. Let me actually do it. Now this one is going to be like a calculated query. So I close this. I've already saved it. I go to create query design. I add, then I close this, then I double click here to select all. I drag them and put them onto my table. Like I select everything and I drag them. Now for this query, I'm going to add another field right here, and I'll say I'll call it duration. Loan duration. Call it loan or duration. Loan duration. Put a full colon, and after a full colon, I'll put in year, date taken, year now. I'm going to use an expression called year. So let me make this one wider. Let me make it wider a little bit. I want it to be wider. The thing is very big. Yes. So I want an expression called year. Now, and close, minus year in brackets, date taken. Now this is a field from the table, so I have to enclose it into square brackets, but I have to make sure the way I've written it is the right way it was written in my table, so that nothing goes wrong. Now this circle, this checkbox here has to be checked for that field to show when I run my query. So I make sure it is checked and then I run my query. Date taken, it is asking me for date taken, meaning that I made a mistake. I wrote data instead of date taken. So let me go back, and that is what happens when you don't really know how to correct this. It will haunt you. Now when I make it date taken and I run, yes, now it gives me the duration, but it gives me only the duration of those people that have loans. So it tells me duration in years. So I can actually calculate. All those things. Now we can do very many queries, and what I request you guys, practice as much as you can, because the more you practice, the more you'll have a lot of queries that you can actually handle. But if at all you're not practicing, you find very many new queries, and for the queries you need to know a lot of criteria that you can come up with a lot of queries in a simple time. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, comment, and may God bless you in all your endeavors.